It's the Happy Families podcast. It's the podcast for the time-poor parent who just wants answers now.
G'day, this is Dr. Justin Coulson, the founder of happyfamilies.com.au, dad to 6 daughters, husband to 1 wife, and the parenting expert and co-host on Channel 9's Parental Guidance, also the host of this podcast, the Happy Families podcast. Thank you so much for listening and allowing me into your life to hopefully be useful in making your family happier. Right now, school holidays in Queensland, which means that I'm doing my best to spend as much time in the sunshine with Kylie and the girls as I can. Today's guest is one of Australia's most well-known media personalities and somebody else who is going to be joining me in the Happy Families Hot Mess Summit. If you haven't heard the news, we've got another summit coming up. We've done Bringing Up Boys, we've done Misconnection, we've done Little People, Big Feelings, and now the Happy Families Hot Mess Summit. It's just around the corner. All the details are at happyfamilies.com.au or on the Happy Families Facebook page. We're going to be talking about how you can help your family to be less of a hot mess and be more joyful and function better. And somebody whose life literally is on the record as being, from time to time, a really hot mess, but somebody who is also so inspirational in the way that she's dealt with it is Jessica Rowe. That's who we're going to be having as part of the Hot Mess Summit. And it's a wonderful conversation that we'll have there. But I wanted to get her on the Happy Families podcast to let you know what you could be in for and to have Jessica Rowe participate in a lightning round. Thank you so much for being here, Jess.
Oh, it's so good to be talking to you, Justin. You know how much I love chatting with you.
Well, I love chatting with you as well. The lightning round is something that you haven't done before, though, and it's going to put you on the spot and put you into a couple of awkward positions because, hey, it's fun. But this is a lightning round, so we're looking for short, quick answers, and we're just going to play around with some ideas about being a parent. Are you ready to dive in to the Happy Families lightning round?
I'm ready, but short. You see, this will be a challenge for me because you know I like to talk, so it's got to be short.
That's why you're so much fun. All right, let's start with the basic ones. Tell us how many kids you've got and how old.
Okay, 2 daughters. Allegra is 15 and Giselle is 13.
Do you have a favourite child?
No, of course I don't have a favourite child. No.
Who do you love most? Peter, your partner, your husband, or your kids?
All. Oh,
no, you got to choose.
Tricky.
Yeah.
Oh, no, because I don't think you can say you love someone the most. I love my husband in a different way to how I love my kids. But if I think about the enormity of the love, it's definitely my kids.
Jess, ideal number of kids?
2.
That's firm.
Oh, I knew when I was pregnant with Giselle, I'm like, nah, that's it. I'm not doing this again.
How do you rate yourself as a parent?
You know, I would in the past have rated myself low, but I'm going to give myself a 9 out of 10.
Wow, big score. Nice work. Good on you for backing yourself. Jess, what's something great that your parents did that you've tried to continue in your parenting?
Oh, it's hard to think of just one thing. Both of my parents, even though they're divorced, they both were very encouraging about using our voices to make a difference. And I very much try with both of my daughters to empower them to stand up for what they believe in and to know that they can make a change. Don't wait for other people. You can do something.
Wow, I like that a lot. Jess, this is one of the trickiest questions you'll get in this lightning round. Who is the better parent, you or Peter?
Oh, well, I'll say me, but no, you know what? We're different. Petey is much more strict in inverted commas, but he really is a softie, whereas I'm more free in the sense of I've always been a lot more flexible and sort of, I suppose, more fun, dare I say. But Petey's more the, I don't want to say enforcer because that makes him sound really tough, but Petey's more the, no, come on, we've got to do this and let's get up, or else I'll still be having a cup of coffee in bed.
in your jammies, dressing gown, I get it.
That's right.
Tough one for you. What's the hardest thing about being a parent?
Oh, does there just have to be one? I think being a parent, it's so hard.
Nobody said that. The hardest thing about being a parent is being a parent.
But if I had to, I can't even say there's just one particular thing that stands out. I think letting go. Being a parent, I'm discovering, is a series of letting goes. And each stage you have to let go of a bit more and give your kids a bit more room to grow and for them to sort of thrive, but also without, because I have a tendency to be a bit of a helicopter. So I think a series of letting goes, that's what I find difficult to do.
If you could spend an hour with your children at any age, Jessica Rowe, what age would you choose and why?
I've got to say, at the moment, who knows what the future will be like, I far more enjoy spending time with my daughters now that they're older. Of course, the love never ends, but when they were little, I found that really hard. I found it boring. I found it exhausting, tedious, and just relentless. And now I'm loving the relationships that I have with my daughters. I love the conversations. I love the things that we can do together, even though, of course, being teenagers, a lot of the time they're like, oh, Mum, you're so embarrassing, we're not doing that. But I think now I'm enjoying the young women that they're becoming and spending time with them.
So an obvious follow-on is, what's the ultimate joy for you being a parent?
Oh, being together as a family. On Saturday night, we went to our local Italian restaurant, and it's our sort of family place. And the four of us were there, and we were chatting and laughing. And to me, that was such a moment of, oh, yes, this is the stuff of life. I didn't want to be anywhere else.
This is the most controversial question I'm going to ask you, Jess. What's the right age for kids to have a mobile phone?
Oh, do you know, I think...
I hate this question because I get it all the time, right?
I know. I think, don't put it... Why make it an arbitrary age? Because kids mature differently. And depending on family circumstances, and if kids are on public transport, all those sorts of things, living in two different homes, all that sort of stuff, they might be needing a mobile phone, more than another child of the same age. So I think you do what's right for your family. And it's all well and good, I think, to be really draconian about mobile phones, this. Have a look at how you're using your mobile phone as a parent. Because our kids are like sponges and they model our behaviour. So if you're not off your mobile phone, if you're on it too much, then of course, how can you possibly ask your kids to put their phone down?
Okay, so a sensible answer tinged with a side dose of guilt. Thank you, Jess, for that one.
I still have my phone though. There's nothing wrong with. I used to hide in the bathroom, especially when my kids were small, on my phone because they were doing my head in. There's nothing wrong with doing that.
I love it. Last handful of questions. Here we go. What's that thing that your parents always said that you swore you would never say, but it keeps on popping out of your mouth anyway?
Stop hitting your sister. Leave your sister alone.
What's your kids' favourite thing to do with you, Jess?
I reckon just to hang out together, to pump up the music in the car and have a sing, and, well, I might be singing, but just to be together, I reckon.
What are you most looking forward to as a mum?
You know what? I'm happy now. I try and not get too far ahead of myself and think about what am I enjoying now. I love that my kids sleep in. They're teenagers. They don't get out of bed on the weekends. Yes. So I don't have to get up super early and I can have a cup of coffee in bed. That's what I love. And I think when my kids were much smaller, that was what I used to long for. I now have that and I'm very content.
It's so funny that you have that approach. I know that this is a lightning round and we've only got 2 questions to go, but I can't help but jump in when you say that because I'm the kind of person that I am. Like, let's make the most of every minute of every day. Let's go and enjoy the sunshine, the beach. Let's go for a bike ride. Let's get into the mountains. Let's do stuff. I've got this thing. I can't bear to watch my kids, even my teenagers, sleep in. I still get them up.
No,
yeah, I do.
Them sleep in.
It's just not within me. I can't do it. Maybe I'm a bad parent after all, Jess, but
no, nonsense. But let them sleep in.
Last 2 questions. Number 1, if you could go back to you as a young mum having one of those tough moments, being inexperienced, you were suffering from postnatal depression, what advice would you give yourself looking back now?
You will get through this. It's going to get better. Hang in there.
So many people say something just like that when I ask that question. Last one. What's been your biggest win as a mum?
Oh, I tell you, this is a goodie, I reckon. Recently, Giselle, my youngest, who's 13, she said to me in the car recently, she said, Mum, I know that you dress in a bit of a crazy way and you're a little bit out there, but I actually really like that. I prefer that you're like that. I like that you're not a boring mum. So for me, I was like, yes.
Yeah, cue the stadium applause.
Yes. I'll take that today. Thank you.
Jessica Rowe, it's been such a delight talking with you for a Happy Families lightning round. Thank you so much for being on the Happy Families podcast.
Oh, thank you. Mwah, Justin. Love you.
As always, the Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. We so appreciate the great work that Justin does. And Craig Bruce, the brains behind the operation, our executive producer. Thank you, Craig. If you want more information about making your family happier or about the upcoming Happy Families Hot Mess Summit, which I know I've said it before and I don't want to sound like I'm overselling it, but it literally is going to be the best summit that we have ever done. Visit us at happyfamilies.com.au or check out our Facebook page, Dr. Justin Coulson's Happy Families.